Yes lads, how you all doing? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Now today, boys and girls, I'm going to bring you guys the Liverpool versus Leicester match preview. So boys and girls, the long wait is finally over. Leicester are back in action. 2 Premier League games have been postponed, but it looks like Leicester are back in action tonight. Well, hopefully anyway. And Leicester returns straight back to knockout football. The Foxes will be making the journey up to Anfield tonight for the Carabao Cup quarter-final clash between Liverpool and Leicester. It's been over a week now for Leicester without a game of Premier League football or football in general, but Leicester need to hit the ground running straight away. We are only 2 games away from Wembley, and could Leicester create some more history this season with potentially winning the Carabao Cup? However, stood in Leicester's way is Jürgen Klopp's Liverpool in the quarter-finals of the Cup, and surprisingly the Reds have actually played games recently. In fact, 2 games more than Leicester have played in the Premier League. Last time Liverpool, they picked up a controversial 2-2 draw against Tottenham Hotspur away from him. Of course, the Reds currently sit 2nd place in the Premier League table, and they are definitely on top form. It's going to be a very tough game for Leicester, coming straight back to action with a trip to Anfield. But the main thing is Leicester are finally back in action. So all that being said, boys and girls, and without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Let's discuss Liverpool and Leicester, and let's get straight into the match preview. It's been about 2 weeks, but yeah, boys, we are back. So as always, boys and girls, kicking things off then, my thoughts going into tonight's game. Right then, Liverpool away then in the Carabao Cup quarter-finals. Not really the best of games you can return to, considering you haven't really trained or played in almost 2 weeks now. Nice. But yeah, lads, of course, Leicester are now finally back in action. It's been a very long time. Of course, you missed the games against Tottenham Hotspur at home, and of course, Everton away was going to be the game on Sunday for Leicester. I assume those games will be obviously rearranged to some time in like March, April time towards the end of the season, where hopefully Leicester can get those 2 games played, and 2 games in hand. But yeah, Leicester are back in action in the Carabao Cup. Liverpool away in the quarter-finals. Of course, the win would take us to the semi-finals, and then you never know. And obviously, with Leicester now out of the Europa League in the mighty Conference League, this could be a trophy which Leicester, could try and win. If you do get past Liverpool, which is like the hardest team you could possibly get, I think we have a decent chance on it, depending who we get in the semi-finals. But yeah, moving things on then, boys and girls, let's speak about the game then in a bit more detail. So of course, with the current situation right now, it's very difficult to even think about who's going to play the game tonight, which players are fit, who's got COVID, etc. There's some slight news around that. I'll get onto that later on in today's video. But yeah, overall, we don't really know who's going to really play, especially for Leicester. It's a very big unknown. We haven't even got a press conference from Brendan, so who really knows? But overall, I think we can agree that the sides are still going to try and play it in the same sort of system under, of course, Klopp and Brendan Rodgers. I think we can all say, though, that it's going to be a very tough game for Leicester tonight. A big test at Anfield, quarter-finals, knockout football. It's going to be high tempo, high pressure. And overall, I'm expecting a very open game. And it's going to be a very good game for the neutral, in my opinion. Of course, for Leicester, in our final game before the 2 postponements, we picked up a 4-0 victory over Newcastle. So potentially, we could have some confidence and momentum from that game potentially, and and for Liverpool, of course, they picked up a 2-2 draw against Tottenham. Obviously, Liverpool are on top form right now, but even if they do play the youngsters, those players will be looking to prove a point to Jürgen Klopp and potentially get a starting place in future games. But yeah, lads, on the balance of things, it's very difficult to predict what type of game is going to happen tomorrow. It's pretty much like the season has really restarted for Leicester. 2 weeks off. You could say it's an international break, but other teams have been playing. And overall, it's a very tough situation for Leicester. And if we do lose, it will be disappointing, but you can totally understand it, because it's the preparation for the game for Leicester has not been there. Going into this very important Christmas period, and the games we do have, Leicester have not really been put in the best of situations. But of course, several other teams in the Premier League are in exactly the same boat as Leicester. But yeah, lads, as always, let me know your thoughts and opinions going into tonight's game in the comment section down below. Are you guys confident? Are you guys not? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And how do you guys see the game playing out? Of course, overall, it's difficult, but I'm fairly confident that Leicester could pick up a result, but I think, it all depends what team Jürgen Klopp does pick tonight at Anfield. So then, lads, moving things on then, it's now time to look at the latest news going into today's game between Liverpool and Leicester. Like I said earlier on, there's not too much information, but we do have a bit of news around who's going to play for Leicester, and also a bit more of an update around Liverpool, as their assistant manager gave a pre-match press conference yesterday at Melwood. So for Liverpool, they remain without Virgil van Dijk, Fabinho and Curtis Jones for Wednesday night's Carabao Cup Cup quarter-final against Leicester at Anfield. The trio are still self-isolating after testing positive for COVID-19, while striker Divock Origi is out injured and fullback Andy Robertson is suspended following the red card against Tottenham. And for Leicester, we have lots of problems ourselves, potentially all 5 centre-backs missing the game. Of course, Johnny Evans, Kagawa Seungchu, Yannick Vestergaard, Wesley Fofana and Filip Benkovic look likely to miss out of tonight's game at Anfield. And some more news for Leicester from Jordan Blackwell, with the LCFC outfield players pictured in training yesterday at Seagrave. This includes James Justin, Ricardo Pereira, Kagawa Seungchu, Yannick Vestergaard, Nelson, Brunt, Samare, Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, James Maddison, Ayoze Perez, McAteer, Vardy and Patson Daka all training, as well as Yuri Tillemans and Wilfred Ndidi having done a pre-match interview suggesting that they will be available for the game. And straight back to our opponents, Liverpool. The Reds assistant manager said this: "We'll try to make it a cup night for the fans' full desire with all we have, and for that we will need fresh legs as well. We'll prepare for a strong Leicester team." And finally, Wilfred Ndidi speaking to LCFC TV yesterday. We had to follow the protocol and it's been difficult because we haven't been together as a group. We've been training individually because of COVID and we'll just see what comes. So we go to boys and girls, that's the main news going into tonight's game between Liverpool and Leicester. Of course, from that we know a few players who are missing for Liverpool. Some slight news on Leicester. So on overall, that's probably the best we've got so far, but at least we have some sort of idea what type of team is going to shape up for both sides in tonight's game. So the boys and girls, moving things on then, it's now time to get straight into my predicted lineup for tonight's game. So as always, boys and girls, just before I jump straight into my predicted lineup, as always, I'm going to hand it straight to you guys in the comment section down below. What team should Brendan Rodgers select tonight? Let me know in the comment section down below. Formation, who's going to be a part of that team? Let me know in the comment section down below. So starting things off then with the formation, for me, I'm going to stick with the 4-3-3 formation. This lineup is going to be very just guess really. I haven't even thought of it. I'm just going to make it up as I go along really. But yeah, 4-3-3 is going to be the formation for me tonight. So then, starting things off then in goal, we'll be going with former Liverpool man Danny Ward, of course. Danny Ward has played the games in the Carabao Cup so far this season. I mean, some fans have been asking for Ward to even start again ahead of Schmeichel in the Prem game. So I guess here's your chance. But yeah, for me, Danny Ward to start in goal. It could be Casper, of course. Ward has played the games against Millwall and Brighton so far in the Cup. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it will be Danny Ward in goal tonight. Right, lads, moving into the back four then for tonight's game. Starts up at right back, I'm going with Ricardo Pereira. Now, Ricky P has just been all out of the side so far this season. Apparently, he's back fit. He's been training. He was on the bench against Newcastle. He's had an extra 2 weeks or so to get back fit. So for me, this could be the perfect chance to give Ricky a game potentially against a weakened Liverpool side. So for me, Ricardo at right back. Left back, I'm going to be going with Luke Thomas, but that could change depending on the centre backs. But yeah, Luke Thomas at left back, in my opinion, for the game. He's been on top form, fantastic against Newcastle. So yeah, for Luke Thomas, you might as well just keep it going. I think Luke Thomas is all right with COVID and stuff. So for me, Thomas at left back for the game. Centre backs now. This is very, I mean, obviously, from reports, apparently we have no centre-backs available. I have heard that Seungchu could be fit for the game, so we will be going with Seungchu as one centre-back, and alongside him, we'll be going with Wilfred Ndidi to fill in that centre-back, just like it against Newcastle. Of course, Wilf, very adaptable, and, you know, against Newcastle, Wilf did a fairly decent job at centre-back. So for me, we'll go with Ndidi and Seungchu at centre-back. I mean, if Johnny Evans is fit, we'll go with, of course, Evans instead of Ndidi, but from reports, it's probably only going to be Seungchu who's the only real fit centre-back. So for me, Seungchu and Ndidi as his centre-back partners. Moving ahead then into the midfield three then for tonight's game. Starting off then in the holding role, we'll be going with Boubakary Samare. Of course, Bouba played there on his own against Newcastle last time out. It's going to be a pretty similar team to the team against Newcastle. Obviously, Leicester, most players should be fully fit, so for me, we might as well just try and play our strongest team and get through, really. So yeah, for me, Samare in the holding CDM role, in my opinion. Slightly more advanced, we'll be going with Yuri Tillemans. Of course, Yuri was top-notch against Newcastle a few weeks ago, so hopefully Yuri can have another solid game. And alongside Tim, we'll be going with Kieran Dewsbury-Hall. You know, recently, it's got into the side, and Dewsbury-Hall has been absolutely on fire recently, but he's made a great start to Leicester, starting just in the first team. Obviously, Kieran's been at the club for ages, but, you know, starting in the first team. Dewsbury-Hall, he's made an excellent start to that at Leicester, and hopefully that can continue. And finally, boys and girls, moving then into the front three. On the left, we'll be going with Harvey Barnes, of course, was very good against Newcastle as well last time. I'm pretty sure Harvey is all good with COVID and all that type of stuff. So for me, Barnes on the left-hand side for me. On the right, we'll be going with James Maddison, obviously. I say on the right, not really on the right. He's going to drop into midfield, link up to Dewsbury Hall, Tielemans, Samara, etc. And of course, that was the area which Maddison took up against Newcastle. So in overall, worked quite nicely. So yeah, Maddison just off the right, but coming in central, allowing that space for Ricardo to bomb forward. And at top, we'll be going with Patson Daka, my opinion. I think Vardy, we should just rest him, make sure he's fully fit for the game against Man City and maybe the game against Liverpool a few days later. So for me, Daka up top, he linked up very nicely with James Maddison in the last game as well. So overall, boys, that's my team for the game. Pretty much the same as the team which played against Newcastle, apart from Danny Ward. And overall, I think, you know, we've had 2 weeks off. We might as well just fully attack this game against a Liverpool team who, you know, is going to definitely be... there's going to be changes in there. So there you go, boys and girls. That's my predicted line for tonight's game. As always, let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. Do you agree? Do you not? Let me know. And if so, what changes would you guys make? Yeah, wrapping things up then. Score prediction for tonight's game. Obviously, knockout football has to be a result because the penalties like the game against Brighton. For me, I'm going to go with it going to penalties. Now, yeah, who knows? I mean, Leicester are pretty good at penalties. Obviously, Danny Ward, the former Liverpool keeper, is good at penalties. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw in normal time. Goals coming from Patson Daka. And for Liverpool, we'll go probably Firmino. I can see him starting. So for me, 1-1, penalties, and I reckon Leicester will get the win because why the hell not? But yeah, overall, it just depends on who plays. And if Liverpool play, we can see in the game is definitely there for the taking tomorrow for Leicester. So yeah, as always, boys and girls, let me know your score predictions for tonight's game down below. So the boys and girls, that's it for today's video. Of course, in today's video, I bring you guys the Liverpool versus Leicester match preview and predicted lineup for tonight's game at Anfield in the Carabao Cup. We're finally back. And hopefully Leicester can play a few more games until the games will probably get postponed once again. But yeah, if you have enjoyed today's video, let me know by dropping a like. Subscribe as well to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know your thoughts and opinions going into tonight's game in the comment section down below. Sadly, no matchday vlog tonight. We'll be back with a matchday vlog for the game against Liverpool at home on the 28th of December if we're allowed to go. But yeah, who really knows, boys. But yeah, I'm a Sportsa, and I'll see you guys very soon in my next video. Peace, guys.